Hey guys, it's SJ back at you another video for today. Now before we get into the video, I'm gonna kind of tell you guys where I've been and everything and what I've been doing. If you follow me on social media, then you would know I'm just kind of just hanging out and chilling with my friends and everything because it's summer and everything. So I kind of took a break from YouTube and everything. Mostly, well, not really YouTube, but mostly coding. Um, my whole channel is kind of based off of the programs that I make and what I do with them and everything and how I distribute them and whatnot. And just been kind of taking a break from coding because to tell you the truth, coding, it's great and all. I love it. I'm going to the Air Force soon to work in cyber defense, and it's just that's great and all, but it's quite hectic, coding and everything. It's really tiring. Sometimes you work on something for a really long time and then something just doesn't go the way you expected it to, which didn't happen to me. I just decided to take a break. I did this before. I took a 3-month break of not coding or anything, just kind of hanging out. And yeah, I've been kind of like pushing it to the side a little bit and not working on the programs I need to be working on, like the graphical user interface of social engineering docs tool or SEDT, and I just haven't been working on that lately, which I need to be doing now while it's still fresh in my mind. But yeah, so how that's going to work is basically I'm just going to start working on it again soon. I'd say maybe 3 more days I'll start working on it. Still got a lot of work to do, like working like my job and everything. I still got a lot of that to do and everything. So along with that, and just with the everyday task of doing what I have to do, it's just I mean it's not that bad, but you know it gets around there. But enough with this kind of introduction, I guess. Let's go ahead and get right into the video. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is adware. Now, adware, as you know, is mainly just kind of like the software that's probably installed on your computer or on your browser, and it's basically just showing ads and everything to your computer. But the definition of adware is any software application in which advertising banners are displayed while programs is running. The ad is are delivered through pop-up windows or bars that appear on the program's user interface. Now, this happened a long time ago, and like early versions of Windows, that was it. The computers were able to do that, but now that Windows 10 and then they kind of evolved since then. So ads are pretty much blocked. Period. So that's why that's not working anymore. But adware is commonly used for computers, but is also found on mobile devices. Now, adware is like you install an app on your phone, and it'll like put icons in your drop down menu, pretty much, and it'll be there the entire time. And unless you uninstall the program, then it's gonna continue to be there. But the next one is an ad dropper. Now, ad dropper has a similar characteristics of like a Trojan and malware, but it's more unique. It's way more unique. So the definition of ad dropper is it's a type of malware developed to launch viruses by dropping or installing them. Dropper viruses may go ahead undetected because they are hidden, difficult to pinpoint, and relatively uncommon. Now, this was I'd say early versions of Windows. A lot of the viruses that people, if your computer was infected, they would usually install the virus or put the virus somewhere in your app, the folder that says app data. Basically, it will be installed there, and that's where it would be for the time being that program was there, and that's where it would be hidden and everything. And so people started to notice that, and they started, protect, like, I wouldn't say protecting, but that folder was like a point of interest per se. So that'd most likely be like the first place to go to search for. If an antivirus was scanning, that'd be like the first place it would search. And droppers are also a relatively new type of virus that many antivirus programs are not equipped to detect. Now, that's actually not true, because when any program is installed, because a lot of the programs nowadays are pretty much like, how you say, it's they're meant to, if it'll, a program or the antivirus will, kind of look for an MD5 or a hash or something to see if that program is legit. And, if it's not legit, then most likely it'll be uninstalled or removed. And that's basically how it works. So, I mean, it's not that it's not equipped to detect it. It's just, it'll take time. Now, a lot of people know what bots are. It's probably one of the things that a lot of people talk about, or a botnet. Now, a bot is basically just a computer or an infected machine that executes code or a command from the attacker, and that's all it is. It's very, it's a dangerous thing. A lot of people usually don't know when they're become of a part of a botnet. A lot of the things you can check to see if you're a part of a botnet, like your internet speeds are really, really slow, or you have some programs running that you don't normally use, or just programs running out of nowhere. That's usually means that your computer is part of a botnet. But a bot, for the definition, a bot is an automated program that runs over the internet. Some bots run automatically, while others only execute commands when they receive specific input. There are many different types of bots, but some common examples include web crawlers, chat room bots, and malicious bots. Now, back in ye olden days when chat rooms were like a really big thing, that's where, like, kind of where like the bots, they kind of came from. Their bots were they were meant to execute, or they were meant to write certain things in the chat, and that's all it was meant to do, in a way. That's kind of what YouTube uses. They use bots to. Now, there's two types of bots. There are the bots that are used for, for important things, and the other one is like malicious stuff, like, any type of thing that's going to attack someone or spam a certain website or whatever. Now, certain bots are on Google are used to moderate, like like a certain YouTube channel, or a type of area of YouTube is meant to moderate it. That's usually what it's meant for. And browser exploit. Now, browser exploit is really simple. It's all it does is it's just an exploit that's used to get control of someone's browser, and then hence gain control of the person's PC. Now, the definition for a browser exploit is a form of malicious code that takes advantage of a flaw or vulnerability in an operating system or piece of software that, with the intent to breach browser security, to alter user browser settings without their knowledge. Now, a lot of things like that, a lot of browsers today uses this thing called persistence, and it basically means that it keeps user data in. It's meant for a convenience thing, but it's also secure too. Like Chrome, like for an example, Chrome uses this option where you can save your passwords that you put in previously, and basically just go ahead and use that over and over again. And it's your password, don't worry about it. But they've also put security measures in so no one can view it except you. Okay, so spyware. Spyware is basically just a program that is installed in your computer that is used to spy on you. Programs such as keyloggers or a rat, or some may call it a remote administration tool. You can basically use that and just spy on the computer. But the definition of spyware is a software that is installed on the computing device without the end user's knowledge. Such software is controversial because even though sometimes installed for relatively innocuous reasons, it can violate the end user's privacy and has the potential to be abused. Now, a lot of Windows installations, they and the end user, what is it? End user agreement or licensing. Some certain programs are blocked from being used. I mean, you can still use them, but if you use it, you're violating your terms of service, and your Windows install could be voided and everything. You wouldn't have a warranty anymore. Period. But some Windows most Windows installations have this thing where certain third-party applications can't be used because it could potentially violate the terms of service. Now, a vulnerability. Vulnerability is basically just a way to be used. Is I'd say an exploit is basically it's used to gain access to a computer or a system. Now, a vulnerability nowadays vulnerabilities are very difficult to find, but when they are found, they usually have really great potential and can be dangerous to the whoever it is that controls that server or that information or that system. Now, the definition for vulnerability is, in computer security, a vulnerability is a weakness which allows an attacker to reduce systems information assurance. Vulnerability is the intersection of three elements: a system susceptibility or a flaw, attacker access to the flaw, and attacker capability to exploit the flaw. Now, these exploits or these vulnerabilities are called 0 days. Now, 0 days are basically just they're really dangerous things. They're really dangerous exploits or vulnerabilities to a system. And if you have found a 0 day, usually they're sold on the dark web for money, or an attacker is if attacker finds it, he usually sells it on the dark web for money and everything, and that's usually how it works out. Now, last but not least is a Trojan. Now, this is probably one of the most known things in computer security. Just kind of a brief summary of what a Trojan is. A Trojan is a computer program that is to be seen as harmless, but in reality, it's actually a program that has malware inside of it or a virus. And when you use this program, the program installs the virus into your computer without you knowing. Now, the definition for Trojan is, in computing, a Trojan horse is a program that appears to be harmless but is in fact malicious. Now, if you ever seen that movie Troy, where they actually put the Trojans, they take they leave the beach, and they actually built this huge horse, and all the soldiers that get inside of the horse, and they were actually going to burn it, but they decide to take it inside the city. And overnight, the soldiers got out of the horse, opened up the gates, and let their people in and took over the city. And the same thing will happen to your computer if you install anything like any Trojan on your computer. And the program will take over your computer and let all of its little infected friends inside of your computer, and you'd have to most likely clean and destroy your computer to fix it. So the terms comes from Greek mythology about the Trojan War. According to legend, the Greeks built a large wooden horse that the people of Troy pulled into the city. During the night, soldiers who had been hiding in the horse emerged, opened the city gates to let their fellow soldiers in, and then overran the city. Attackers have long used Trojan horses as a way to trick end users to installing malware. Typically, the malicious program is hiding within an innocent-looking email attachment or free program such as a game. When the users download the Trojan horse, the malware that is hidden inside is also downloaded. Once inside the computing device, the malicious code can execute whatever task the attacker designed it to carry out. So basically what that means is that whenever the program is installed, The malware will be usually, it's like I said, it's usually on games. Um, it's usually like cracked versions or pirated versions of games. I've actually seen some stuff like this. If you download a game and then it'll actually have a program in the background, or it'll have a program that'll look like a part of the actual install, but it's not. And then when you run that install, it'll install the program onto your computer. And so that's what that does. But thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like the video, please like. If you aren't already, please subscribe. Helps out the channel a lot. Hopefully I'll be getting back on the schedule and start recording every week, like I actually said in the beginning. But with all that being said, I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.